I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're speaking with the very talented Richard Devonish. He is the author of Illuminating Ink in Color. With an ingenious blend of free verse poetry and prose, the author paints a vivid tapestry of social justice, history, politics, allegory, life, love, and satire, igniting light upon diverse narratives. We are delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like him by subscribing to our channel. Richard, a true honor to meet you today, sir. Thanks for being on our show.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Wonderful to have you. This is such an inspirational work you have written. Was it many years in the making? Was it a series of works that you decided to compile together? Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I've been writing since I was doing stand-up comedy. I was writing what I would call creative nonfiction, where I would take things that are happening and express them in a creative way.
Well, you were very creative in this pursuit. You've got a very diverse life. You're a stand-up comic, a police officer, a poet. You know, you've got a lot of bases covered there, my friend.
Thank you. I'm trying.
Yeah, well, that gives you a lot of life experience, and that's what makes a great writer, I think. I think people who have lived a lot of lives, who have stepped in a lot of shoes, who has witnessed a lot of living and life. What's your favorite part of this book? Is there a favorite poem or a piece of prose that you really enjoy?
Well, the thing that I'm motivated by is the social justice themes of the book.
And tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I became motivated to make positive contributions to democracy, human rights, solidarity, and also for accuracy in education, because I believe that everybody deserves the right to the truth, to be taught the truth, as they're coming up, or as they're reading information. People, I believe, have the right to know the truth.
Absolutely, absolutely. And deciphering the truth seems more difficult than ever nowadays. You put on one news station, you hear one story. You put on another news station, it's 180 degrees different. It's hard to know what to believe nowadays, particularly
it's definitely a challenge.
Justice. It is a challenge. Tell me about your title, Illuminating Ink in Color. What does that mean?
Well, I believe that that the book it illuminates I would say obscured history and things that weren't taught, that should have been taught, to children as they grow up, because I believe that truth and transparency promotes trust.
Absolutely, absolutely. Do you view yourself more as a writer or a poet or a little bit of both?
Well, I would say a writer, that writes poetry, and satire, that I try to use for positivity and for enlightening people that don't know about certain things, but sometimes in a satirical way, or sometimes in a chronological way.
All right. It can be a tough, fine line to navigate sometimes when you're dealing with satire and sensitive topics, particularly in this era where nobody has a sense of humor. Everybody's ready to call everybody else a hater or this or that. So how do you find that balance between trying to be satirical and trying to be sensitive?
Well, it's actually a balance that's caused by a lot of the challenging and depressing topics, which I studied and tried to express. I try to balance it with satire and more creative concepts. like the allegory and the wordplay and using song lyrics, because the song lyrics is actually like a way that I relax and and kind of feel better about life, because a lot of the challenging topics are very depressing. So like you said, it's definitely a balance in the writing. So I try to use that to my advantage when I put the whole collection together.
Absolutely. And it's smart to lighten things up. Sometimes when you use a sense of humor, people are more likely to listen to your point of view than if you're lecturing them. So I think that's pretty cool that you're not beating people over the head, that you're creating, stories to tell people.
Right. I'm trying to, well, on the one hand, I stand up for democracy and, advocating for, supporting democracy around the world in places even like Ukraine, where their democracy is under attack. I believe that other democracies should support a democracy like Ukraine and other democracies around the world.
How do you think we're doing as a nation when it comes to social justice? It seems like in many ways we're more divided than ever. But we did elect our first Black president in Barack Obama. We have our first Black female vice president in Kamala Harris. So I guess we have made some progress. And maybe a lot of the division is headlines and not the reality. When you get onto the streets of Main Street in New Rochelle, you probably see all races, all groups, all people, all genders, all getting along and creating a good society together, right?
Exactly. That's why I emphasize solidarity, because, like you said, most people, they just want to be positive and want to have a good, fair life. But like you said, there's divisions. But when I look at the divisions, I see a false equivalence, because I believe that the divisions are caused by a lot of lies and false information.
Right. Exactly. Now, you were a police officer for a number of years in your hometown. Has that affected your point of view at all?
Yeah, I think so. I think I was able to see the problems and the aspirations of all different kinds of people, and see people at their worst moments and at their best moments, and I believe that for the most part we're all the same, and the people that that try to use divisions and violence and other things to keep people separated so that they can actually have control over the mass of people.
Absolutely. When you first finished this book, who was the person you gave it to say, hey, take a look at this? What do you think?
Well, I wrote I felt like I wrote the book for everybody. So I wanted all different kinds of people to read the book and give me feedback about what they think about the book. Like even people in my family that that I respect their opinion and they have a broad view of of life and history. I wanted those people to give me feedback about the book, but also people that don't know me at all. I would like feedback from the general person and the general public.
Well, that's the beauty of publishing a book, is that you're putting it out there for all to read, and you get that feedback, good and bad. I presume most of it's good, because like I said, I truly enjoyed this book. Are you working on anything else right now?
Yeah, I'm working on fit more into the physical fitness side of things, staying healthy and staying open to be adaptable for a truth or something that you didn't believe or understand, trying to always be prepared to learn more and not be stuck in any particular principle and so forth.
Sounds great. Sounds it'll be very helpful to a lot of folks out there. The name of this book is called Illuminating Ink in Color. It is an ingenious blend of free verse poetry, prose, and the author has painted a wonderful tapestry of social justice, history, politics, allegory, life, love, and satire. This is a book you should definitely pick up. It is highly recommended by us here on the Spotlight Network. Richard, before we go today, anything else you'd like the audience to know?
Well, other than, you know, the being creative and using allegory, I also, you know, try to put a spotlight on obscured history and other things that are not thought, like for instance, that yodeling and most musical instruments are actually founded in Central Africa.
Wow.
But I only recently learned that myself, you know, through research, and a lot of the research is quite surprising. Like the Roman Catholic Church actually incited the Atlantic slave trade, which was quite surprising to me also.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of history out there that's been rewritten, that has been covered up, which has been changed, which is not widely known. So it's nice that you have shed a light on those aspects as well. Richard Devonish, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Yeah, thank you, Logan.
My pleasure. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.